When we talk about tech-driven curriculum, it's basically the modern or the new age kind of curriculum. Now, curriculum that is trying to enforce solution-based learning. Our system is trying to create a hub where people can explore cutting-edge science as the rest of the world is doing, to show all manner of opportunities that are available. That's one.
Hello and welcome to the DNA Learning Center Nigeria weekly podcast, and this is a platform where we talk about issues that helps you understand what science should be and how far you should appreciate science as it relates to what we need in a country like Nigeria and Africa as a whole. And of course, today I'm seated with first of all a friend, a great colleague, and one of the best scientists you can ever meet. I have Mr. Victor Abba with me in this very first episode right here at DNA Learning Center Nigeria. Mr. Victor, you're welcome, sir.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Victor is the lab manager for Center for DNA Forensics and Criminal Investigation Center right here at DNA Learning Center Nigeria. We are going to be looking at the new frontier and how AI can be used to power the very thing that we need. You know, experiential learning and hands-on learning is going to help us expand the very thing that we need to expand as it has to do with science development in Nigeria and Africa. So, Mr. Vic, let's begin with breaking down the typical tech-driven curriculum. Like, I don't know if you have it already, but I know some people are priding themselves on having it. And that aside, DNA Learning Center Nigeria already, it's what we've been doing. It seems like every other person is trying to play catch up with us. So I want to see this from this angle. What exactly, when we say tech-driven curriculum, as far as Nigeria is concerned, because I believe that there's certain peculiarity that we should start paying attention to. We can't compete with America, we can't compete with first world, second world country, we're still the third world. So when we say science, tech-driven curriculum, what do we mean?
All right, when we talk about tech-driven curriculum, it's basically the modern or the new age kind of curriculum. Now, curriculum that is trying to enforce solution-based learning. Like, the idea is the kind of old system we run in Nigeria is such that it's all about cramming, pass the exam, and forget the content. So it's more of examination focused rather than solution oriented. Tech curriculum means now that you use all available technology that you can access to ensure that you can create solutions. So it's not about what you know, it's about what you can do. It's not about how much information you can suck up over a short period of time and pour out somewhere. It's about what you have put into yourself, you can convert into solving problems, right? So the idea of tech-driven curriculum is, there's what we call VATs, which is like different ways of learning, right? You have visual learning, you have auditory learning, you have reading and writing learning, or reading and writing learning. Then you have kinesthetic learning, VARK. Tech-driven curriculum is based on kinesthetic learning, where you have to do, right? So we say to do is to know, and then to know via doing is to solve. So we want to move away from this auditory learning where you just listen to lectures on and on and on and on, and you can actually practically produce solutions. So with tech, you can take a lot from technology, instantly apply, because it's all about getting solutions as quickly as possible. It's not about the long procedure of knowing everything in your brain. No. If you can practically use it, if you can get hands-on learning and know exactly how to manipulate tools, how to use tech-driven technology to work with your data, right? We're now in an era of predictive solutions, where we want to start creating solutions even before the problem arises. We're thinking, what's going to be the problem in the next 10 years, right? With data, which tech helps you to like put all the things you've gathered over a couple of years together and see the trend, you can now predict what issues will come up and begin to solve. So tech-driven curriculum is a curriculum, it's a solution-based curriculum, a curriculum that says ask questions, answer the questions, and change the community.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Victor, for that. There's this question I want to ask. When we talk about tech-driven curriculum, a good number of schools try to present themselves as we are doing this, we are doing this, but deep down there is a lot of lacuna. Like there's a lot of things that still needs to be done before you get to that level.
Yeah.
What do you think are some of the major challenges we're having to get there? Like, I know manpower is part of it. The number of we have limited hands when it comes to tech skills, good tech skills in Nigeria. So, what do you think are some of the challenges that we're facing in making these things happen?
I think number one, in my opinion, is timely transition of curriculum. That is, get up to date as quickly as possible. Don't update your curriculum to something that is fading out in other societies. Right? I can tell you, for example, let's just use the educational system, for example. In the first world countries you mentioned, you have children being introduced to coding as early as the age of 6 years old. Now, it's not coding in like the advanced writing of codes, but they use visual skills in classes. It's like blocks, like block video games and all of that, and they learn to show you how codes work, how codes move as early as age 6. So by 11, they are now introduced to things like Python. So like in those young age, you have things like Scratch JR, Scratch Junior basically, that helps kids between the ages of 6 and 11 years old to have a very basic understanding of what coding is all about and how it works basically. Not that you started coding, but you know what it's all about. Now, we lack this front foot to get to that level as quickly as possible. Right, we actually always play catch up basically, and then some of the few institutions that another thing we lack is infrastructure. And some of the few institutions that have that infrastructure do not have human resources. The few that have human resources struggle with financial resources, because a lot of these tech-driven things require both infrastructure and finances to run. And then you now have parents and most people in the community who cannot afford the cost of being in such programs, right? And personally, I do not think we are investing enough in Nigerian education for people to have access. I think there should be more access to free learning at this level. We don't have that. The few institutions that have that are extremely expensive private institutions, which only a select few can be a part of, and even when you get into their curriculum, it's not as up to date as we want it to be. But yes, they are the trailblazers, if we are being honest, in the educational sector. So when you bring it down to what we are trying to do, even at our level, is to see how we can have front foot equipment, that is the best technology available to us within the current time, provide as much access to it, as much technology, as much experiential learning around those things, in order to ensure that even our curriculum, designed whether for secondary school, primary schools, university, or professionals, would give you the best experience you have, such that wherever you go to in the world, you don't struggle to adapt. You are basically skilled, ready.
Thank you so much, Mr. Victor, for that. Let's come down to Guinea Learning Center Nigeria. Guinea Learning Center Nigeria has over the years been champion of experiential learning, hands-on learning. And then with the birthing of said foresee, what do you think? What do you think the society should be expecting now from us, and whoever is going to tap into training opportunities we present? What are they going to be expecting, and what is that point? What's that very unique thing that they're going to take away from our new dawn trainings? Because it's a new dawn.
Yes. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to not just be a regular training or learning center. We are trying to be an integrated system where we have research labs, not one. Currently, we have about 4 research labs in our new facility. We also have labs that are being equipped to handle public services. We have labs, we have training halls, training centers where people can come for training. We also are launching the Science City Museum, where young kids who may not have the real background to get the high-end learning can come on tours and begin to see what the future in science for them might look like. I mean, if it's something they love, it can begin to shape the choices they want to make in their future. So we're opening this very wide range of integrated system where we're servicing the public, we are running research, we're running trainings, and then at the same time we're giving experience to people who just want to go on science tours. We're talking about science writing, right? Media science writing, like what you yourself you do, science communications, yes. So people can experience all this. I mean, you can say, okay, I'm into the media space and I'm also intrigued by science, right? We have a reference library here for people who are not just doing research, but also want to learn more about the fields we cover. So it's like an integrated system where we are trying to touch multiple things, and then you're going from forensics to molecular biology and all of that. So the idea is we want the full package, right? It's not just that you have access to the lab, no. You also have access to center where real things are done, where simulations are being made up, where scenarios are being built up, and then you can practically walk through that sphere and understand what real life situations looks like, what training situations looks like, what research also looks like.
Thank you so much, Mr. Zaid. Let's talk about the Science City vision, because we can't exhaust all the conversations in this first episode. Let's look at Science City vision. The project is on course already. We're almost there. And how do you think this will serve as a hub for the next generation of African scientists? Because this is the first of its kind, at least let me use Southeast Nigeria, and even Nigeria as a whole.
Yes, as an integrated organization, yes.
This is the first of its
kind. So it serves in the fact that our curriculum is not one way per se. We have advanced curriculums, we have intermediate, we have basic. We have curriculums for people who want to get exposure into science from primary 6 up to GS3. We have those who have already chosen early years in science from SS1 to SS3, who want to explore other options beyond the traditional ones. The traditional ones are, you have to be an engineer, or you have to be a medical doctor. There are so many other options. So our system is trying to create a hub where people can explore cutting-edge science as the rest of the world is doing, to show all manner of opportunities that are available. That's one. Our system is also built for people who are cut across science, who want to do certain level of research, right? Nigeria is suffering from currently what we call brain drain, which is our best brains are leaving the country to go to other countries where infrastructure exists for them to be able to do what they really want to do. So we want to be a research hub as well, where the tools and equipment are available for researchers to come. Now, one of the trends we want to curb, which is like normally what happens in Nigeria, is you're doing research, maybe undergraduate, master's, PhD, and then you design your research, you take all the bench work and give to an institute. They run the science for you and give you results. Right? So the person doing the research doesn't even get to experience how his results come about. He is not part of the journey. And then he publishes papers that honestly, the challenges he could have documented if he was part of the journey are not even included. So the idea is we want to bridge that gap, we want to provide infrastructure, we want to provide a partnership, whether collective, individual partnership with universities, with institutes, that will come and say, hey, this facility is available, use it for research, use it for learning, use it to grow. So it's why we call it an integrated system. We're not just here to serve the public. We have non-profit sides to DNLC, which we operate not for profit, just strictly for learning, training, research, and the likes. Right? So that's the idea. That's what we are trying to achieve, where we can also support states who want to run major projects that you want to create databases, you want to create data banks, you want to carry out epidemiological studies and create all of that kind of system. You want to carry out large-scale projects like malaria exercises and the rest. So that is why we are here, to create room for all of this to run concurrently without any hindrance.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Victor, for your time. And of course, this is where we are going to be wrapping it up for this week's weekly podcast on DNA Learning Center. Remember, my name is Chikize, one head of media and communications here at DNA Learning Center Nigeria. And I'm so glad that we have with us today, Mr. Victor Abba, who is everything for us here at DNA Learning Center. Essentially, he is the lab manager for Center for DNA Forensics and Criminal Investigation (CEDFORSI), DNA Learning Center Nigeria, Godfrey University. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, until next time, keep thinking science and stay innovative.